Cunard. They have a long and fascinating history. They've operated hundreds of ships, but today, they only have 3, with a 4th coming in May of this year. So, let's rank all 4 of them. From my least favorite to my favorite, including a ranking out of 10 at the end of their section. Please note, I love all 4 more, and I prefer them over any other cruise ship. So they are my top 4 favorite cruise ships, well except Queen Mary 2, which is an ocean liner, but still my favorite cruise ship. And I love anything Cunard related. So, now without further delay, let's get into my favorite of the top 4 current Cunarders. And number 4 is the smallest ship in the fleet, granted, only by 852 tons, but still the smallest. Frankly, I love all 4 Cunarders, so for me, it comes down to which ships I gravitate more towards. And Queen Victoria is always the last. There is nothing wrong with her, unless her being the smallest is a problem for you, which it isn't for me. After all, I am known for liking my small riverboats. I am fairly confident that the MS Queen Victoria ranks as a 7.5 out of 10, and she would definitely be in the 4th spot if this was a top 10 just for cruise ships. Coming in at 3rd, 852 tons larger than her older sister, the Queen Victoria, the Queen Elizabeth. Don't know what it is about her, but I've always preferred her to her sister. Although, the 2 are my top 2 favorites of the 9 Vista-class ships. If I had to guess why I like her so much more, it's because I love the first Queen Elizabeth and Queen Elizabeth II. So, I think her name has something to do with it as well, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. Now, speaking of her 2 previous ships of the same name, I think, in general, for me, I've always liked when a ship is carried on a name. It's like I loved the first USS Yorktown, the first carrier one, and I loved the second one, because of what the first one did. So I think that has something to do with it. Queen Elizabeth definitely deserves the rank of 8 out of 10, just slightly higher than her older sister. Coming in second is the Queen Anne, who isn't yet in service, although she is scheduled to enter service in May of this year, 2024. So I just decided to include her anyways, as we're so close, why not? So how does a ship that's not even in service yet get second? Well, she's the first new Cunarder in 13 years. The one before her was Queen Elizabeth back in 2010. She's also the 2nd largest in the fleet, around 23,000 tons more than the Queen Victoria and the Queen Elizabeth. However, she's 36,000 tons less than the largest ship in Cunard's fleet. In fact, the largest ship ever in Cunard's fleet. And the last of the once grand ocean liners, RMS Queen Mary 2. I love her, and maybe it's because I love New Holland's ships of the same class. She's a brand new Cunarder of a class that I love. Even though she's not an ocean liner, there's just something that I love about her. The Queen Anne definitely deserves the ranking of 8.5 out of 10, just above her 2 smaller fleet mates, despite the fact that she, just like her 2 smaller fleet mates, are cruise ships. Of course, coming in number 1, and my favorite current Cunarder, is the last of the ocean liners and the last Royal Mail ship, RMS Queen Mary 2. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love her. It is partially that the name also was held by the first RMS Queen Mary, which is my favorite Cunarder of all time, with the first RMS Queen Elizabeth being close behind. It's just natural that the current Queen Mary 2 gets some help because of this. Even if she was the first to hold the name, I'd still love her. You can't beat an ocean liner with a cruise ship, despite how much companies have tried. And with only being one less in service today, she's always going to be my favorite current active passenger ship. I love the last of the Royal Mail ships, and the very last of the once grand and prosperous ocean liners. RMS Queen Mary 2 definitely deserves the ranking of 9.5 out of 10. and I so wish that when she retires, Cunard replaces her with another ocean liner.